What's up, guys? Welcome to the DHC Sports Show. I am not the Dad Hat, but maybe at some point we will be able to hear him tonight. If not, this episode is brought to you by Peanuts and the Peanuts teacher. So, Ed, how are you doing? Man, well, he's coming from a different planet tonight. Maybe we could translate. Like, what are you drinking and what are you wearing?
Nothing. I'm not drinking anything.
No, I'm not drinking anything. Okay.
You know what, hey, Patrick, you know what it is?
What's that?
All the mess he's talked about the Cleveland Browns. He gets to town and the Browns shut him down.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point. And Virgil can attest to this. This is what happens when you insult Bailey Zappi.
100%.
This is exactly. Yeah. Well, he loved him so much he had to go somewhere to visit him. But yes, want to you too. So we will now move on to let's see. I'm going to go to Mr. Producer Virgil. What are you wearing tonight, and what are you drinking, and how are you doing?
I am doing good. And for the record, Ed, you sound like a robot that's huffed a bunch of helium right now. So the hat I'm wearing is the Brevard County Manatees, one of my favorite defunct logo teams, and really one of the first teams that I noticed when I was a big Stars fan. That unique baseball teams just exist like this. I am drinking the last of the Yellowhammer Rebellions. On Thursday, I'll have a whole new set of beers ready for display. And so it's just great to be here.
Well, we're glad you're here. And speaking of the Dad Hat, I do want to make sure we go over that the DHC Sports Show is brought to you by who, Donnie?
By Old Fort. Check out these shirts right here.
Old Fort Baseball Co.
Support local baseball. Some stickers as well.
Very nice.
Those guys are doing a great job, and we do need to mention the link for the Support Local Baseball for California.
Yes,
that Logan released today. Everybody go to the Old Fort social medias, however you want to get to them, to their link, and pre-order the shirt that he has for supporting local baseball for California and the community there in Southern California for their baseball programs as well. So, I mean, Logan's out there doing good work in the world for people that are going to need it to rebuild.
Very well said. And I don't know if someone wanted to, I don't know, Mr. Influencer, if someone wanted to get money off, say your name is, I don't know, Brett, and you're looking for a coupon code to get money off of your order, maybe not for the fundraiser for support local baseball in Los Angeles, but maybe you want to buy some other things. Is there a code that someone can use if they go to Old Fort Baseball Co?
That would be Dad Hat.
Outstanding. Well, Brett, did you get that?
Can you guys hear me now?
As deputy mayor of Topeka.
Wait.
Hey.
Okay. Yeah. Say again. Say something else.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. Is that Mia?
We can hear you good. Yes. Praise the Lord.
Is Mia laughing?
Yes, that is my daughter in the other side because we're in the hotel room and she is laughing. She's probably watching, if I'm guessing right, she's watching some cat videos.
Very nice.
We can hear her laughing, but yeah, we can hear you loud and clear now.
That sounds like
awesome.
That sounds like a good night day.
It is a good night day. Yes.
Yes. So, Mr. Mayor, let's go back to you. How are you doing tonight? What are you wearing and what are you drinking?
Well, I'm doing okay. I just breezed in here about 20 minutes ago from Charleston. Worked later there than I expected. But as far as what I'm wearing, excuse me, I'm wearing the Carolina Grits identity. This is the on-field 5950 Grits hat. In honor of National Hat Day tomorrow, I was wearing one of my favorite hats, and this, along with many other hats for the Columbia Fireflies, are 35% off for National Hat Day. So take a look at that tomorrow. I think Johnny Boland's already texted me earlier that grits might be in his his future for tomorrow as well with that kind of discount. And as far as drinking, I'm just drinking water, but I'm actually drinking water out of this really cool 64-ounce water bottle that I got from Buc-ee's on Saturday night.
Ooh.
This thing is fantastic. It tells me throughout the day how much more I've got to go. It's got a sipper on top. It's got a little strap here. And this is ensuring that I get my 64 to 70 something ounces of water minimum a day in. So that's where I'm at.
Oh my gosh. Someone let Brett have power. Oh, God bless us all. So Donnie, Brett's saying that watch out, he's coming for your seat next.
Yeah, well, he's a deputy mayor. I'm a mayor.
Yeah. Nothing deputy about the mayor.
You got to get more experience, Brett.
That's right. That's right. And yeah, so good point from the Dad Hat himself. Official League will be having 20% off for select items for National Hat Day. And big shout out to Zach Beeson. Thank you for your service, my man, and happy National Hat Day to you. And hope there's maybe a couple hat purchases on this day for you coming up. And I know we're going to be talking a lot more about that. But
I definitely will be making some purchases.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Influencer, how are you tonight? What are you wearing and what are you drinking?
I'm doing pretty well. I am at a hotel in an undisclosed location waiting for Donnie strippers from last week to show up. So,
man, what is this? You and Ed in hotel rooms tonight. Y'all don't have adjoining rooms, do you?
yeah, we do. Here, Ed, I'm come behind you. Actually, I would say where I'm at, but I'm way too close to Brett right now. No, I'm in Kansas City for work. So, came up this morning, and then we'll be heading back tomorrow. So, just got the water today. So, and then my hat is Cliff Bar. I love Cliff Bars, and I ordered some Cliff Bars. It's been a while back now, and like order Cliff Bars and you'll get a free hat. So got this trucker snapback hat from Cliff Bars. Love all kinds of different flavors from them. So that's what I got today.
Very nice. And Ed, now that you've arrived back on planet Earth, what are you wearing and what are you drinking, or is it still nothing now that you're back on Earth?
I'm drinking. I'm drinking just water tonight, and then wearing my Dad Hat, official Dad Hat from 47 brand that I had. So that's what I'm doing tonight. So and if you hear my kid, yes, she refuses to go to sleep. Absolutely, it is 9 o'clock at night. It is her first time in a hotel room, so she is having the time of her life.
Well, it is.
Yes, she is.
It is definitely a good night day.
Yes, it is.
And as for me, I am drinking tonight some Crystal Light tea, and
what are we, 95?
What's that?
What are we, 95?
Yes, I
Crystal
am.
Light?
Yes, I am, and I am celebrating my retirement. I am older than Donnie. Yeah, no. And then let's see. Tonight I am wearing a Los Angeles Kings hat, and just keeping the people of LA and Los Angeles County and the Pacific Palisades in my, continuing to keep them in my thoughts and prayers. And I know we're all thinking of those people, and just a reminder to be grateful for, that we have, roofs over our heads, and just that we're not, just to think about those people who are suffering out there. So keeping those people in my thoughts and prayers. And as I said, I'm drinking I'm a 95-year-old man, and I'm drinking my Crystal Light, and I'm maybe 96 because I have a backup there as well in case I finish another one. So, I'm all set to go, and that's what I've got tonight. So tomorrow apparently is a big day to some people. I don't know. It's January 15th. Can anybody fill me in about the significance of what tomorrow might be?
I don't know. It's Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay. Oh,
I'll be heading back home.
Yeah. I
Phil,
will not be headed back home. No.
Phil, that's what it is. It's National Hat Day tomorrow.
National Hat Day.
So for Zach Beeson, already wishing you a National Hat Day, but this is the day that people like us that absolutely love hats absolutely live for. So, it's also Museum Selfie Day. But
okay.
So with National Hat Day, we all know that there are big, the teams across minor league baseball come out with sales. So I want to kind of go around the room and say, like, are there any targets that you either A, have, B, you've already some that you've already purchased because some sales are kind of week long, or 3, like what are the biggest sales that you've seen so far? So anybody that wants to jump in.
I'll start because
right.
the Chihuahuas are having 20% off
Okay.
the whole site starting today. So you guys can go check them out. I did talk to them. They said, yep, Chihuahuas are having a sale. I know that the Iron Pigs are releasing a hat, not really having a sale, but releasing a hat for National Hat Day. From what I understand, super hyper local. So there's that. And then obviously Official League is having 20% off. So like, but because I have good friends, someone sent me a Puerto Rico hat today that of course now I have to get, from Official League. Hopefully that one is 20% off,
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Donnie Jr. down there.
Yeah,
I was
right.
gonna say it wasn't me spending his money this time.
Yeah, Lee.
No, it wasn't him. It was actually Eric. Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome.
I was like, hey, and you know what? I didn't get him in time because I was driving, right? I didn't get when I got to where I'm at here in Canfield, Ohio. I got a list of like text messages from you guys, and then one of them was like, hey, Ed, do you have this hat? I'm like, come on, Eric.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't want you to miss it. You're a big Official League guy right now.
Yeah.
So
I am a big Official League guy. So yes, that'll be one that'll be on the purchase.
He's
It was
officially
funny after he sent that text and I saw that, I was like, man, that's a cool hat. I didn't know they had that. And then I looked at my emails and I had an Official League email about the international hats because
that's what I can.
they're all actually all pretty cool hats. I mean, the Puerto Rico one, very cool, but I mean, those other ones that they've got are nice too.
What I do appreciate about them is they also sending a button with it as well. Like it's those little extra things that they do at Official League, right? That just, obviously they're not a cheap hat. Like, let's be honest about that, right? Like they're $40-$45 sometimes for a hat, but it's like they're worth those hats because like the material is really good.
Definitely.
Ed, are you in a pickle about whether to get that Official League hat or?
Oh man, you had that going. You had it cranked
listen,
up.
I got him locked and loaded, man.
Yeah,
so,
you did.
So apparently Johnny's got top 3 targets are Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, the Baby Bombers, the apparently being influenced, pun intended, by the mayor with Carolina Grits, and also a little producer action there with the Huntsville Stars throwback. So I think I'm on here with a bunch of influencers that are influencing purchases of other members of the community.
I'm trying to figure out when Johnny is all of a sudden the biggest Yankees fan in the world. I know he's gotten a bunch of bobbleheads and stuff from a good friend that he met, but I thought he was a Marlins. I know the Marlins are struggling right now, but I've tried to convince him to not go that way, but only so much I can do.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm loving this new New York Yankees version of Johnny.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I root for a dumpster fire, and I root for a dumpster fire, and I just stay in that dumpster fire, and I'm just going to burn.
Well,
so
it may be the new Donnie and Johnny show. Let you two do the show together, and you
keeps talking Yankees. They might be out of a co-hosting position.
So
here. We'll be looking for a new co-host.
So the name of the podcast is called Pick That Team because it's going to change week to week. So, all right. Well,
so apparently, if I talked about any hats here, this hotel room is going to be my new home, which it's fine because apparently the babysitter's daughter thought that we're splitting up because I took Easton to daycare this morning before I headed out of town, and I'm like, I'll see you tomorrow, Easton. And then she goes, I don't know how old her daughter is, probably like 9, 10 or something. She's like, Mom, are they getting a divorce? He said, I'll see you tomorrow, Easton. And then Shannon, when she picked him up today, was like, no, he's just out of town on business.
Well, then let me reframe the question for you. Hypothetically speaking, if one were to buy hats on a National Hat Day, not saying you, But if one were hypothetically to do that, what would interest someone who lived in, I don't know, the Wichita area? Like what would be of interest?
If there's a team in Kannapolis that plays the Cannonballers,
Yeah.
that a certain Wichita family has been to see the stadium, and then brothers are going to see a game this year. They have not a lot, but they have
Dreams.
They have a few select hats that are half off. One of them that looks like the Charlotte logo. I think Charlotte does one that's like has their initials CLT, and I can't remember. Does this say KCB or
KCB?
So it's kind of similar to that. And then I have a few other ones. So yeah, if you're looking like for the Cannonballers, I know they have a few hats that are half off. So they run roughly about 17 and a half, 18 bucks or so.
Yeah.
So
that's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah. Mr. Producer, what about you?
So the only one I'm looking at currently is Biloxi's up to 35%. I'm hoping that maybe they'll have some of the alternate identities. Like I wouldn't mind getting a Beach Chickens hat for that.
Nice.
If it's going to be like that.
A Beach Chicken that's a good one. I've been wanting to get that one too.
Yeah, I don't even think they have king cake fitted online.
No, I got one.
You got one?
Unless they're out, but I got one.
And they also have
like last year.
They have an on field, but they also have like an alternate colorway of the same thing. I think one's like a two-tone, which is not an on field, but they had that one, and I know they had a full size run on that.
That may be the one I got, was the two-tone. I know Johnny got the Beach Chickens, or I'm pretty sure he got the Beach Chickens, and he may have gotten a King Cakes as well.
Yeah. And
then the other one I'm keeping an eye on is probably the Columbia, the 35% for Columbia. That is a place I've been to, although it was their inaugural season. So I feel like I can get their alternate identity hats and not feel like I haven't gone there before. But definitely looking at a Grits hat for that.
Hey, Eric, you're going to be in Kansas City. You should go out to what is that one hat place right there, based out of Kansas City? I can forget the name already.
The Negro Baseball Leagues Museum?
No. The hat company that's there. I just bought that Santurce hat from.
Oh, Sandlot?
Sandlot Goods.
Sandlot.
No,
that's right. Yeah.
Where are they? Are they Kansas City? Or like Kansas City?
No, Kansas City.
Overland, Missouri, or Kansas, or Overland Park?
Yeah, because they're all Chiefs and they're all like, they're Kansas City. They even have. I'm looking right now.
What's he saying here? What's Johnny?
I feel like I'm being insulted.
I don't know. I think Johnny forgot about punctuation tonight.
Johnny, the mayor, and okay. So I guess it's for your podcast. The mayor.
Yeah, the mayor and the Methodist.
And then he said, "Can a man have a National League team and an American League team?" And he said, "The LA Kings had the great one, and tonight the 8-1." So I just got.
Man, he's throwing some darts.
Dang. Ouch.
I like that. The mayor and the Methodist. That's
kind
of like Hardcastle and McCormick. And I don't know, you young guys might not even remember Hardcastle and McCormick. I know Johnny
does. What would be
does.
your topic then? Like, what would you talk
religious
about?
men in baseball?
We would talk about the greatest church is baseball.
Ooh, he might have an issue with you there now. He might have an issue with you now.
Happy National Hat Day Eve, Michael.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm targeting anything specifically right now unless something jumps out at me. I mean, I've been worn out from Black Friday to holiday sales to all this, New Year's stuff. It's like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
I don't know what I got left for National Hat Day, to be honest with you. It's just going to have to be really, really special. Yeah. And if I don't get anything, then, it's no big deal. I'll circle back around to these teams when the new stuff comes out. Cause I mean, we'll get to it in a little bit. I mean, you got new identities dropping on some stuff. And, I just saw the Iowa Cubs. They just posted a little snippet earlier for something dropping on Saturday, and You know,
Yeah.
we've said this before. Like, why would you not drop that on National Hat Day?
Yeah.
Why would you
But they
wait till
don't-
Saturday to drop some kind of new hat, new something?
I hate to say this, but so they can avoid putting it on sale.
Yeah, but I mean, I know you look for the sales on National Hat Day. You can have other stuff on sale, but also have that released on National Hat Day just as
Yeah.
the point of announcing it.
You don't even have to give it a discount.
That's
you can
what-
say, you
yeah,
know,
exactly.
select, you know,
And that's what
National Hat Day
Rome does.
discount on select items. Yeah.
Right.
Like Rome hasn't done it on National Hat Day, but actually last year they did their Marvel identity on National Hat Day. And then like on Black Friday, they released, their new batting practice hat. So they've done stuff without putting it on sale, but
Mhm.
Right.
so that's an example. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to give a shout out to the producer who kind of predicted that, not kind of, he predicted that that Binghamton, the one that you referenced, Mr. Mayor, the Binghamton was up to something. So
Yeah.
he kind of,
Yeah.
so Virgil, credit to you for kind of, kind of pointing out that something was going to be coming, because, you ended up being right. So since we're already talking about it, what do you guys think of, Virgil, how about you share kind of a little bit about what Binghamton presented today?
So a while ago, they presented a picture with a hat that was covered in bubbles a while back. And of course, today they unveiled it as the Binghamton bathtub donkeys. When I initially saw that one, I was like, okay, what is this about? And then when I actually see the context to it, it made it so much better.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this logo. I think this is
Pretty
going to
much.
be. I think this is going to be a great one. To when they get the hats out, it's just going to be an instant buy.
And didn't I see that this was like Virgil, correct me if I'm wrong on this. It wasn't like inspired by kind of like what the Hartford Yard Goats did with the bouncing pickles, as far as the inspiration for why they went after it.
Yes, it's kind of the same
Idea.
the same old law that was still on the books, and may as well make a hat out of it.
I don't understand those laws. Like, why? What's the point?
I mean, some of these things go back to the 1800s, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, why would a donkey need to be in a bathtub to make a law that you can't do it? I mean,
Right. Well,
that is kind of funny. And there was a few laws a few years ago here in South Carolina. I can't remember them now. I'd have to look some of them up. But similarly, there were these all strange, weird laws. Like, if there's a law for it, that means something happened to create that law.
Yeah.
And that's the story you want to find out.
So, Donnie, Eric, and Ed, what do you think of this new bathtub donkeys identity?
Dude, I love it. I love the colors. I love the fit. I love everything about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. The name kind of caught me a little bit. It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
But that's what I
You
love
know,
about it. I love that it's a mouthful. That's actually what
Yeah,
I love
it's
about
still a very cool logo. And you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Dairy Daddies. It's kind of a weird, wonky thing like that, like the
Yeah.
Dairy Daddies. And it's like, it's a little bit much, but it works.
it. Yeah. And
Oh,
Mr.
that's
Mayor, I'm gonna need you to address some allegations. So apparently there's some allegations out there that you bought too many hats lately if you don't plan to buy any tomorrow. So why are there so many empty boxes in the garage?
Well, because those boxes have been collecting for months. They're not
There you
just
Good job.
weeks.
Good job.
That's a good answer. It's like you've
And
practiced.
I'm saving them so that I have boxes to ship stuff out to you guys when I send you something.
That is
I don't have
that
to go
is a-
looking for one.
that's an outstanding answer.
Hey, wait, did I see that you also buy a jersey at a certain hockey game that you were an hour away from Patrick? Donnie?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah.
And didn't invite that guy? Man.
Yeah. I mean,
I do feel bad that we didn't invite Patrick, but
No, he
as I
doesn't.
said pre-show, and I'm not going to get onto it here,
No.
there was a lot of circumstances that were out of our control. This is on the boxes issue that she's calling
Yeah,
bull on that, not you.
Did you notice that he said we didn't invite Patrick, not He's trying to make us have to do a group
Yeah.
effort.
Yeah.
Kind of thing?
And I got to get this straight, Rhonda. I don't blame you in the slightest. Now, Donnie, that goes straight to him.
Donnie threw you straight under
Yeah.
the bus and is
Yeah.
driving the bus,
Like-
Mrs. Mayor.
He may hate me almost as much as Eric does. I don't know. Yeah.
I'll make it up to you.
Get a P.O. box.
In a P.O. box. These boxes are for future fan mail for the podcast. There you
So
go.
to go back to Shannon's question, no, Johnny's not trying to get out of VFA. He's trying to push me out and bring Donnie in because they're now both Yankees besties.
See now, Mrs. Mayor. This is why I love Mrs. Mayor. Like she'll take me to the game in Athens, and yeah, we'll go see the Rock Lobsters. That's right.
So
Yeah.
so let me get this straight then. You know, I want to make sure of this, that Johnny is now picking teams just like Donnie's picking his NFL teams.
There's a reason that their names rhyme.
Yeah.
Johnny and Donnie.
Because, you know, next thing we're going to hear, he's going to pick the Dodgers as his favorite team, you know,
Yeah.
in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I also heard Johnny like was a big Jacksonville fan, and it had something to do with like the Florida Fighting Donnies. I don't know. That's an unverified rumor, but that's just what's been out there in the world. And I just think it's my duty, as being part of the show, to report things like that when it comes out. So
Yeah, it's very unverified.
well, I think there's some of it substantiated just by virtue of a certain panelist who was really all pro Jacksonville for several weeks there. I don't know.
And that's the key right there for several weeks.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that it ever relented.
Hashtag
Sure,
content.
sure.
Hashtag content.
Yeah. I don't know that it ever relented. And looks like and guys, keep telling us in the chat if you have any plans for National Hat Day, what you're looking to do. And looks like Terry said that he has a much smaller collection than ours, but he's looking at the Mudcats and the Whitecaps, the Chihuahuas, and etc. So
That's all. Is that Spanish for every other hat?
Let's go with that.
Don't let him fool you, though. This so-called simple man has a nice hat wall where he records from. So
yes.
he may not have them more than like Patrick, but nobody does. But he has a great,
True story.
great hat wall.
And by the way, shout out to Terry for his videos, man. The simple thoughts from a simple man.
Yeah.
But he's about as simple as like Eric and the Earn Fun Average are average. Like he's actually, way above average, just like those people. So don't let him fool you. He's
Way above simple. I don't know what
way
the
above
opposite of
simple.
simple
Way
is.
I was gonna say I don't want to say complicated because that doesn't sound like very complimentary. So we're gonna go way above simple.
I just love how Patrick finds a way to fit you into a conversation, Eric. You and your podcast.
He always does, and it always annoys Ed. And I'm just sitting here like,
Here we go.
He lives rent free in my head. What can I say? He lives rent free.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but every time I watch Terry's videos, when he does that sign off about the simple thoughts from a simple man, like my Simple Man is one of my all-time favorite songs. So as soon as he says the word simple man, it's like that song comes to my head every time, every day. I'm like, it's awesome. I love it.
Golly, I thought you said that your favorite song was Simple Plan. And I was like, I do not imagine you playing Simple Plan, Donnie.
which version?
Well, Shinedown is my favorite version.
Okay, good.
That is
Yeah,
absolutely
mine
one of
too.
my favorite versions. That's the one of the best covers of any song ever.
Yeah.
I mean, the
That's
original is
awesome.
great too, but man, Shinedown did an incredible job on that.
Yeah, I've seen him like 7 or 8 times live. And going back real quick to if you put that address or if Patrick, I'm about 19 minutes away from there right now.
That was me. I put that address.
Yeah, I'm like 19 minutes from there. When I pulled it up on Google Maps, there's supposedly like 4 locations. So I don't know if they sell some.
They have some stores that they sell, and they got some cool stuff. They did a good series in partnership with the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. And man, it is some cool stuff. I got 2 hats from them, the Cleveland Buckeyes, and now this on Thursday, and I might be getting another one. So yeah,
I may have to visit it another time if I want to come home to my house tomorrow.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
So
But it'll be here, so I'll be back.
yeah, good thing you like Kansas City, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I did want to go back to what Zach said. Zach said he's still a buy my hat at the stadium guy, but he's looking at Ebbets Field and he's looking at some of the Negro League identities.
That's
Wait, I think he does a lot of what you do, Eric, right?
mm,
I'll let you speak on that, but you do a lot of that.
yeah. So for those that may not know, they do the 9 initiative. So a lot of teams in the MILB affiliated do honoring kind of in their local community to some of the Negro Leagues teams of the past. And so I get some of the 9 initiative hats, and I try to base it mostly off of teams that I've been able to see. Now, some of these other hats I just get just because, but for those specific ones, I try to do for the ones that I've actually seen the team in person. So I have probably about a dozen or so of those.
Very nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, anything else with National Hat Day that you guys want to go into? It's tomorrow, but look out for a couple of pointers. Look all week for some teams. Not everyone's going to be doing sales all week, but certain teams have kind of celebrate National Hat Week rather than just National Hat Day. So, as some of these gentlemen have already.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, did you guys see the and I thought of Zach Beeson today too when I saw that the Norfolk Tides reissue of their logos, adding the orange in there basically, or like an orange border. That really makes those hats pop even better.
Yeah.
But are you guys surprised that I really haven't seen that many other teams though? It's been pretty kind of quiet as far as any kind of discounts or any sale going on National Hat Day. I'm actually kind of surprised.
Yeah,
I am too.
Yeah, when I looked at MILB promos, usually in the past there's well over 100, and
huge list. Yeah,
they had maybe 2 little pages. So I don't know if there's going to be a lot more, or if people just aren't doing it this year.
Yeah. And Eric, you bring up a good point. So if you're looking for one place to kind of keep up with all the sales going on, check out our friend of the show, MILB Promos, with like who puts together usually on the notes section on his phone, just collects all of those in one place. Or if you don't want to look at that, you can just look down his page and he's reposted pretty much.
Shout out to MLB Promos, man. He does a great job.
He does.
Well, they do, husband, wife.
Yeah. They do a great job with posting all that. So Eric, thanks for bringing that up. That's a really salient point that I think anyone that's looking for hats can do. So watch MILB Promos, look out all week. Just, look tomorrow really to see everyone that's probably doing it, but then also know that if you don't make it, then there may be some teams doing it. There are some teams doing it all week. So good point from Zach. Maybe Diamond Baseball Holdings doesn't know it's National Hat Day since they own all the teams.
I mean, he does have a point. He does have a point.
I noticed just scrolling through minor league promos real quick here. I see Lansing Lug Nuts, 20% off all hats, select hats, $10. Just to shout a few of them real quick here. Welland Jackfish, the Rocket City Trash Pandas, 25% off both in-store and online. Spokane Indians, 25% off all caps, in-store and online, automatically applied. Only available tomorrow, that discount. Those are the main ones I see popping up here. Oh, the Bismarck Larks. They're buy one, get one free hat sale.
Ooh. And that's a good point, Donnie. We need to point out it's not just affiliated teams that do this. There are collegiate summer league teams that do it, independent professional. And as I'm surrounded by people that do a tremendous job of supporting not just affiliated teams, but giving a shout out to teams of all minor league teams of all different shapes and sizes. This is an opportunity for you to do that as well if you're looking to purchase a hat from a team that maybe you don't typically look at. So make sure to check out sales from all of those teams. And it's not just limited to the 120 affiliated, that you can look beyond that as well.
And Spokane also has a sale.
Yep.
Yeah. And Erie Seawolves, their sale is only on adjustable hats.
Yeah.
So
It's not hats,
Interesting.
but I will say one cool thing that the Seawolves are doing is the new book that I believe Greg Coleman's son wrote that's being released by the team store. So I think that's really cool that they're selling a book. It's about the Seawolves mascot, A Day in the Life. So be sure to, if you've got kids or you've got nieces, nephews, that might be a cool thing to check out as well while you're getting your hats. So just a little shout out to the Seawolves for that.
Here's one too I hadn't seen in Winnipeg Gold Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They have save up to 50% on all player caps.
Mm-hmm. They've had that going on for a little bit. They've got like on-field new era player caps with the old logo that they're selling for like half price.
Yeah, the Northwest Naturals will be announcing their special offer tomorrow. It says stay tuned for that.
Okay.
Eric, you mentioned the Cannonballers earlier. So Rochester Red Wings, 35% off all caps.
And the Hudson Valley Renegades are having 50% off select caps. Now, I don't think that's probably going to be the Big Apples, if I had to guess. I don't think that's going to be something that's going to be included in that, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. But
And I was saying the Fireflies, their 35% off is on all hats.
Yeah.
Whew.
So
Some
yeah.
of them had buy one get one 50% off. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
that's dangerous.
it is. So so different levels of sales. I mean, some are better than others, but be sure to check all those out. And I don't know what you guys do, but I kind of look at all the sales to see which the best ones are, and then that's how I prioritize where I'm going. Because, Oh, and then Lynn said, I guess the Canadian, it did end, Lynn. They did go back to work. It was 2.5 weeks ago by now, I think. So,
Dude, you're just on top of everything, aren't you?
Well, he ordered 12 Blue Jays hats, and he was waiting for them to come. That's the only way he knew.
it was 13. No,
And they've been sitting in customs for a month.
no, true story. I did order something from Winnipeg. So that's actually a true story. I did order something from Canada. And then there's I've got a couple of friends that have there's Anthem that I know, Donnie, you know about, the Anthem shop in Canada, and I know Michael knows about that too. And then also Still out of Canada does some cool stuff. So I order from them from time to time. So
From time to time, being every other week, just so you guys know. From time
every
to
other
time,
day. Let's get it right. Every other day. So no. So anything else about National Hat Day? Any advice that from pros that I'm surrounded by? Like any other best practices that you would tell our listeners to watch out for?
You're the pro.
Yeah, for real. Honestly though, like I said, like I'm just surprised, but like at the same time, I'm gonna go out there and gonna look out. I don't know if I'm gonna buy. Like last year I did buy like I think it was like 5 hats. This year I'm not gonna end up buying maybe that one Puerto Rico hat, and I want to see about Sandlot Goods.
I'm waiting for Donnie to spend my money.
Right. Ed's saying that just because Darla's in earshot. So.
Oh, you think I'm saying that because Darla can hear me?
Buying any hats right now.
Yeah.
Huh? She said she hears that. Don't worry.
Yeah. So Ed said, I'm not buying any hats tomorrow. And then
I'm not buying any hats tomorrow. She's like,
Yeah.
See, she knows.
Yeah. He didn't say anything about the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So Phil was like yes to buying at the team store. Let's see. Ooh. Jeter asking a T-ball player for advice. Patrick is Jeter.
True story. I mean,
it's called, ladies and gentlemen, it's called having a problem. Anyways, first step is admitting you have a problem. Anyways, I digress.
And then the other problem is your friends keep sending you links to hats.
Yes. Like Eric
looking
today,
at you, Eric.
Donnie,
Looking at you, Eric.
Donnie about every other day.
I sent you one.
You sent one, and I have to admit, I sent one to Virgil earlier this week, but I'm trying to find a way to make it Donnie's fault. So I've been trying to think of a legitimate way to try to say it's Donnie's fault, but it's really? I've not been successful as of yet. And Virgil has much more self-discipline than I have because he managed to resist what I sent him, and so
that was not an easy resist, by the way.
Well, that you still have more discipline than I have. So kudos to you on that. That's probably not much of a compliment to you, but still kudos. So the white, so the white caps are buy one get one 50% off. So that's cool. And again, to the chat, tell us what your plans are if you have any. Any other sales, keep sharing it in the chat. We want to hear from you too.
Quick question for Virgil.
Yeah.
Do you have a Virgil Brooks hat, a VB hat?
Is that the Vero Beach hat?
Yeah.
No, I saw a list of hats I was thinking about getting.
Because there's one that has the little lemon or whatever on it.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
So I thought of that as I was coming up to Kansas City. I was like, we were talking the other day about hats with initials. Patrick's like, I got to find one. I'm not sure who would have that. And I was like, wait a minute. Didn't Vero Beach? I wonder if Virgil has one. So
yeah. The only thing they're missing is
I haven't found a DW for anybody, even historically. Yes. If anybody knows of a DW, I can look for.
And one that I was hoping would eventually do it is the Danbury Westerners, but they only have the D with the cowboy hat on it. They don't have a DW. So
Dallas Wings.
Ooh.
Is that a thing? I don't know. I just made that up.
No, the Dallas Wings are a thing. I just don't know that they have a DW.
They're not as good as Buffalo Wings, though.
Oh, God.
That one was just open. That was a layup.
That was just floating in the air, waiting for somebody to tee off.
Isn't Virgil an accountant? That's where the financial self-control comes from. True.
It's part of it.
I gave you 3 seconds, Patrick, to jump on that one. And you didn't go for it, so I did.
Well, didn't you hear? I'm the 8-1. I my prowess has just gone downhill. I'm not the great one. I'm the 8-1. That's what Johnny said. So I'm the 8-1. So I just couldn't do it. Yeah. Terry knows WNBA, the Dallas Wings. So, anything else about National Hat Day?
Nope.
I said we talked about it for about 42 minutes, so I thought that's pretty good. So I'll transition here. Guys, were there any games, in the last, since we last met? Has there been sports going on or anything?
It's been really a slow sports week. Really,
it really has.
There's not been any big time postseason games or anything like that, right? Nothing.
Nope.
Didn't think so. Okay.
I mean, there was the biggest comeback in women's college basketball history that happened.
Jesus Christ! Did you see that?
Could you please go into that, Mr. Producer?
So it was SMU versus Pittsburgh women, and the comeback
was insanity.
30. I think it was a 34C. I didn't have it up. No, I just waited for talking about it.
32.
What kind of producer are you?
Not a good one. It was a 34-point comeback.
Wow.
So at half, SMU did have the pretty insurmountable lead. Then the third quarter happens. The stats for the third quarter, Pitt had 28 points. SMU had none. They went 0-13 with 5 turnovers. I can tell you that off the top of my head. 0-13, 5 turnovers, and then Pitt just continued running away with that game. They only scored 10 points in the second, in the third and fourth quarter.
Mrs. Influencer, we definitely take him for granted. That's for sure.
100%. So hold on a second. I want to go back to this stat. You said they scored no points in the first half.
No. SMU did not score a point in the third quarter.
In the third quarter. Okay.
In the third quarter.
Holy Jesus.
And then the last time that's happened was actually about 5 years ago. It was Florida State that did that in women's. But the sheer amount of, I can imagine being at a game like this and just thinking as a Pitt fan, oh my God, it's already over, and then coming back 32 points down to win it.
It's just insanity.
I mean, how do you go an entire quarter without even making a basket? That had to have been just weird. To sit there and watch that happen. I mean,
droughts
one
happen.
basket at least.
Yeah, droughts happen. You would think they would have maybe got to the free throw line at some point, but they didn't even do that.
Exactly.
So for that third quarter, they were a Southern Mid University.
I don't even think you can call it mid.
Jesus.
Ed, how do you say the name of that league?
I knew you were gonna. I was waiting. Liga de Béisbol Profesional Roberto Clemente.
Oh, there you go. What was that again? I didn't hear that.
Liga de Béisbol Profesional Roberto Clemente.
Oh, that's just beautiful. I love it when you say it on planet Earth and not whatever planet you were on to start this show.
Imagine if I would have said it in that voice.
Yeah, go back to that. I'm going
going to.
Listen, I can translate for you. There you go.
See, Lynn's got the right answer.
Southern Mistake University.
I like it.
But guys, before we get to the football games, I
Yes.
believe we got some picks we need to go over.
Ooh, yes, we do.
Indulge us, please.
Yes, please. I'm going to shut up and turn it over to you, Mr. Producer.
So we had 8 games to pick from and an over-under. So that's the 2 CFP games and the 6 NFL games. In last place, with 4 wins and 4 losses and missed his over-under, it's Donnie.
First to worst, baby. First to worst.
I do admire your consistency on not picking Ohio State on anything.
Can't do it.
So in 4th place, with 6 wins and 2 losses, but missed his over-under, is Patrick.
I knew it. I knew I was close to the bottom.
3rd place, with also 6 wins and 2 losses, and got his over-under correct, it's Ed.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for it.
So now we've run into a problem because Eric and I sit at 7-1, and we both missed our over-unders.
Ooh.
So I was trying to think of what would be a good way to tie break this.
Okay.
Fight.
Throw a knife in the middle and see who comes out.
Okay, if we do
Celebrity death match.
if we do the Brewery Bot podcast episode, then we'll do the fight there. So what I have done I've taken the over-unders and went with the points of the games, what the actual points were, and did the differential and see who was closer.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So for a reminder, Eric's game was the Eagles-Packers at 45.5. I had the Rams-Vikings over at 47.5. Eric's total points were 32 points with a differential of 13.5. My game was 36 points with a differential of 11.5. So with that, Eric has finished second.
Huh. How convenient. Let me make up my own.
I was sitting here thinking,
differential,
Eric
to
is
make
sitting
sure.
there. Eric is sitting there, and you can see
He's
his
stewing.
brain
See,
computing
okay.
that Virgil is going to work this out for himself to win.
Exactly. There's no. He's
No,
like, let me see
no,
some
see, I knew you
formula
were gonna
that'll
say
work. Where
this.
I was gonna. Yeah, exactly. You knew I was gonna say. 'Cause I'm
Eric's
sure
face was so priceless. Huh.
Yeah. So
Wait,
Donnie, Ed, I've got some Christmas popcorn left over. You want a little bit? Can't wait to hear this debate.
I mean, do you want me to do it by alphabetically? Is that
Eric
what you
wants
want?
you to do it however it's going to make him win.
My first name.
Yeah, he
No,
was going
not
to say
my first
he'll
name.
only do that if it's my first name.
Do you file by first name alphabetically or last name alphabetically?
First.
He does for tonight.
Whatever I need to do to make myself win, like you did.
Just full disclosure, I came up with this before these games even happened. Like I was standing on that just in case there was going to be a tie.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fair tie.
Of course,
I think it is too. It's better than Ed's Black Book.
Wow. I didn't say
Maybe he is
anything.
Maybe he is getting paid too much.
Well, if you're paying his salary, then we know he's underpaid. So
Congratulations on your win, Virgil.
Get
I'm so
win,
backhanded
okay?
now.
and he's saying that with all sincerity in the world.
Oh, I can completely sincere. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, she knows. If we're going
Oh,
alphabetical, influencer is first before producer.
Oh,
Ugh. I mean, she's got me there.
All right, so that means you get to pick your over under first this week.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
well, it's not that many games to pick, anyways.
Let's
See Zach
are we
Beasley?
ready to hop into football? Because this guy here said his savior, Justin Herbert, was the man gonna take them to win the Super Bowl, and they got out embarrassed.
Yeah, oh, dude,
Absolutely
that game was
embarrassed.
a lot of games that were actually, I couldn't even believe that the way that it went down.
Well, let me ask this question: who do you think was more disappointing, the Chargers or the Vikings?
Ooh,
Vikings,
Vikings.
because of
Yeah,
their
Vikings probably,
overall 14-3 record. Now, somebody said their only 4 losses were to the 2 teams, the Rams and the Lions. So they won. They were 5-0, lost to Rams, Lions back to back, won 9 in a row, lost to Lions, Rams back to back. So
I think also something that has to be said that the Rams were also been playing really good the last 3-4 weeks. Like,
and that's why I went with them, because I just had a feeling that they would. Now, what was the Chargers record before the playoff? Like 10-7 or something, Virgil?
It was something like that.
So to me, they weren't that. I mean, they were obviously good. They made the playoffs, but for me, it's the Vikings being 14-3. Now they could be like, well, we were, a better record, and we maybe should have had a home game. Blah blah blah.
Well,
Yeah,
the Chargers lost. The Chargers lost Dobbins. They lost Dobbins earlier, and they don't have a lot of receivers. So
that's funny, Zach.
Yeah.
They over excelled what their expectation was. So, but the Vikings, man, they were on a roll. But you're right, 2 teams just had their number. And Sam Darnold got exposed the last 2 games.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: which team overachieved more? Did the Broncos overachieve, or did the Vikings overachieve more this season?
Broncos.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, as you're saying with the Vikings, they were projected to be finished last in the division because they thought they were going to have J.J. McCarthy, and nobody thought that, with Darnold coming in, he would be as good as he was this year.
11-6, by the way, from the producer.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing is, and I don't know what you guys think about this, but as far as the Vikings are concerned, I feel like they had their confidence absolutely shattered by the Lions the week before. I mean, when they could do nothing, and with that Lions defense that's threadbare at best, to be so aggressive against them, and then Darnold could do nothing. Darnold looked like, no offense, Donnie, but he looked like the one in Carolina and the New York Jets.
Yeah.
But he had no answers for that defense, and that's a defense that's been decimated by injuries in the Detroit Lions. So I feel like they just never got the confidence back, and they didn't have that swagger that they had when they went 12-3. Sorry, 12-4. But
I'll say this one: the Commanders and Buccaneers. Also disappointed in the Bucs really didn't show up that much.
What happened to the Fighting Mayfields?
Yeah, I'm more disappointed in you than I am, because you're trying to lead us astray with saying Baker's really good, and then he played that game.
Well, Baker played actually good. I mean, he is who he is, right? He'll have a good streak of good games, and then he'll come back down to earth, have his bad game, and then come back. Unfortunately for him, he just happened to have that bad game in the very first game of the playoffs. Yeah. But that's who Baker Mayfield is, though.
Yeah.
So at this point, because Daniels is going to the divisional round, does that make him Rookie of the Year?
Even if it wasn't that, he would have been my Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But I would think that helps solidify it now that, because I know obviously Knicks made the playoffs as well, but they end up losing pretty bad. Obviously, it was to a really good Bills team.
Yeah.
Are those voted on before the playoffs, though, or not?
No, some of them, no.
Okay.
Because they were talking about it on the broadcast, actually, talking about during the Bills game. They were talking about who was going to be the NFL MVP. Was it going to be
Lamar or Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, And another one, I know we were talking about disappointments, but I'll be honest, and I knew that I was off to a losing weekend when I saw what the Texans did against the Chargers. Golly.
Yeah,
Like,
now that was probably, if we're talking about surprise of the week, is
Surprise of
the
the
way
week.
that, not the way that those teams lost, but the Texans, how they won that game.
Yeah.
Samantha, Shannon's best friend, was at that game, and she was I told you
Episode
guys this, but
128.
she was in episode 128 of EFA. She was in a suite, ended up, and her dad had tickets, and they were down in the end zone, like fifth row in the end zone, and she ended up being up in the suite. And Arian Foster, former running back for the Texans, came in
Mhm.
there, and then later Andre Johnson came in there, and she sent a picture, and she's just
Hall of
like,
Famer.
there's some other players here, I'm not sure who they are, and I'm like, that's a Hall of Famer, like probably the best Texan ever. And she's like,
Yeah.
well, I don't, I'm usually used to these guys with their helmets and numbers, and but yeah, so she got to hang out in a suite with Arian Foster and Andre Johnson. But
Jesus.
yeah, for me,
No big deal.
my surprise of the week is the Texans and how they won that game and pretty much dominated it for the most part.
32-12 too.
Their
Yeah.
defense looked really good, and
Nico Collins looked back to being Nico Collins.
yeah.
I know
Which,
we're going to talk
we know
about
what
this
they do.
later on. I know we're going to talk about this when we make our picks, but Jesus, these matchups that are
Oh,
coming
yeah.
up now. Oh,
So good.
my
Well,
God.
to the point about the Texans and the Rams, I mean, both of them, the Texans, all the talk was about how they once again end up with the Saturday afternoon game. They always lose the Saturday afternoon game, blah, 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 blah. And they came in fired up and inspired. And I think I even said it when I picked the Vikings that, I thought the Rams, with all the distractions of everything going on in LA and having to uproot and move everything to Arizona, that was going to affect them negatively. And it didn't. It inspired them so positively to fight for LA that they just came out on fire.
Agreed. That was
Yeah.
a crazy game. I mean, like
It
I
was.
said, Ravens and Steelers, I wasn't really too surprised, just because the Ravens are a much better team. I'll say this: where the hell was TJ Watt?
Yeah,
Everybody's claiming for him to be the defensive player of the year, and he, like the last couple of weeks, hasn't done anything.
Yeah. Well, they went from saying what to saying who? TJ who?
Yeah, exactly. So
Exactly.
that's the kind of thing that would either make you or push you over the edge to becoming the defensive player of the year. And to me, that just right there doesn't show me that he's the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, I got most things wrong last week with our picks, but I did say that in that Ravens game, I said that Derrick Henry was going to have a big day.
Oh, that was a man against
boys.
Jesus.
I mean, he was an absolute tank in that game. I mean, that's not I'm not giving myself credit for any of that. Like, that's not a really big call to say Derrick Henry's going to have a big game. I mean, anyone that watches any football could have made the same comment. But I mean, I think what I'm only bringing it up to say that's another dimension that the Ravens now have in the playoffs that they didn't have last season that I think is going to be a difference maker for them. I don't know how far that will get them, but it's not a question of it's all on Lamar this time. Now that you've got and what makes them dangerous is you've got Lamar and Derrick, right? So, and in a playoff scenario, that sometimes that's what it takes. So,
would you also have a lot of good wide receivers in Baltimore? Like, I mean, Baltimore's a really good team. And one of my arguments,
but they did without Zay Flowers too. So,
right, that was just gonna say Zay Flowers, right? So, like, I mean, you have some really good receivers there. And then tight end as well. So, Andrews. So, like, here's my thing. And then I'm sorry, I do apologize for the public going off script here, but when it comes to MVP, like, if you were to take Lamar Jackson out of that team will still be a really good team. You take Josh Allen out of the Buffalo Bills, and they're not as good and competitive as the Baltimore Ravens. So who would, in my opinion, I think Josh Allen is the MVP in the NFL, considering all those things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I screwed up the stat last week, but I mean, I'll keep it general again to say without Josh, that Buffalo Bills offense was a very high performing offense that without a lot of star power and a lot of mind blowing stats behind it. Usually there's one guy that stands out with like a big rushing or a big receiving season. Even though Virgil thankfully pointed out last week that James Cook did in fact get over 1,000 yards for the season.
By a couple yards.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you have a Barry Sanders-esque 2,000-yard rusher or, multiple receivers with 1,000-yard seasons. I mean, you've got Amari Cooper, you've got Khalil Shakir, you've got Keon Coleman, you've got Dalton Kincaid, you've got a lot of like role guys that he's turning into, an offense that generates a lot of points. So Ray Davis.
The previous MVPs that Lamar won, he won because he carried that team. He didn't have to carry that team this year because he had Derrick Henry helping him. And like to the point earlier about Josh, I mean, Josh has got the Bills on his back because he doesn't have anybody that's helping him carry them. And it's just that simple. In my opinion, that's how you look at an MVP.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And that's why I think sometimes MVPs are not necessarily even on the teams that are as successful as these two teams are.
Yeah.
But in this case, this year, these guys are that way. But there are years where, there's a guy that's like, say, on the Chargers or whatever. And it's like, man, the Chargers would have never gotten to there, blah, blah, blah. Or you could say, Denver with Bo Nix. If some of these other guys had not outperformed him or whatever, you could always say something like that. Now, the media is never going to go with that. But personally, I think sometimes guys like that should get the MVP because their teams wouldn't be sniffing playoffs if it weren't for them.
To kind of go off of what Donnie was saying about, MVP and what all that. So if we look at college football and the awards, they hand out the Maxwell Award. And it says here, the Maxwell Award's presented annually to the most outstanding player in the sport. So then what's the Heisman? Most outstanding player in the sport, right? Why is there two separate? And it's not always the same player that wins it, which makes no sense. Why would you call it the most outstanding player in the sport award when that's essentially what the Heisman is, right? And is that not the
Heisman Trophy says the most outstanding player in college football. It says that on the plaque.
And that's essentially what this is saying for the Maxwell Award. So I've never understood why they have that award. Now, sometimes it could be the same, but I've seen it before where it's not the same person. I'm like, but why would you call it that if that's the exact same thing of what the Heisman is?
Because multiple foundations have to feel important.
Really, the difference between the Maxwell and the Heisman is who's voting for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, producer.
I mean, and personally, I would put, again, I've said this before and it's, somewhat generalized, but the Heisman stopped being, to me, as prestigious as it should have been or had been after 88. You start looking at the players who started winning it after 88 versus the players that won it. And it's not just because of how the game has changed. It became a popularity contest around that time period. And since 88, to me, there's only been a handful, maybe one hand or 6 or 7 guys overall that I would have considered the most outstanding player. Most times it's the most popular player.
Are you saying you have a problem with the 88 winner? Or you mean
after it?
Okay.
After 88. No, after 88 is when it stopped. And to me, it's a hard line in the sand. I mean, again, you look at who won it up till 88, and then you look at the names after 88. The level of those players is totally different. I think a lot of the awards, like the Maxwell Award and a lot of these other position awards, to me, I value them more prestigiously than I do a Heisman anymore.
The only thing that the Heisman has to go in is the pageantry, right, and the big, I just forgot the name of it, but like the trophy, that's all they got. That's all they got going for them.
Yeah. Well, speaking of trophies, I do want to make sure I give a quick shout out to Mr. Eric Prophet. Congratulations to your Notre Dame Fighting Irish on making the CFP championship.
No, the only trophy we have right now is the Sugar and the Orange Bowl. That's it.
I know, but I just wanted to say congratulations to your team on
It-
making
it-
it to the championship.
I'm
As if
assuming
he
we'll-
seems it's like, yeah, you guys are gonna lose. He's just saying it's like, well, congratulations, you guys got those little 2 trophies. You guys are gonna lose
Yeah.
the national
I'm
championship.
just I'm trying to
Exactly.
curry
That's
some
exactly what
favor
he
and it's
said.
not working. So you know,
Yeah, we're. I'm
It's
assuming
still
picking
miserable.
that on Thursday with our NFL playoffs.
yeah,
Since that game's Monday, we'll have to
Yeah.
pick it before next week's show.
yeah. Since we're going to be doing picks on Monday, I do want to ask you guys about the coaching carousel in the NFL. So let me start in New England, where we have our first confirmed hire of the window, and then we'll get on to some circuit stuff. But what do you guys think about Mike Vrabel being named the new head coach in New England?
I want to hear little Zach's thoughts since he's a New England fan. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's a great fit for Vrabel. Vrabel is he's the perfect fit for that franchise after all those years with Belichick, because he's a little bit Belichick and he's a lot not Belichick.
But why was it all because of timing, or why did he go with Mayo and just not go straight to Vrabel?
Because
It was written into Mayo's contract.
It was in Mayo's contract. He had to honor that.
So it was in Mayo's contract that he had to coach the Patriots?
He was gonna be
Mayo
the
was the
successor to
he,
Belichick.
yeah, he was the coach in waiting. It was in his contract that if Bill Belichick left, he would be named head coach.
And that on his contract said 1 year?
No,
That was the loophole.
exactly. You can be named the coach, but then if you don't perform, you can be fired as the coach.
I love it how he, the owner crack was like, he was not ready for the position. He should have been giving more time to develop as a coach. I'm like, God.
It was written into his contract to keep him from leaving for another assistant's job. I mean, that's what they were hoping for.
And a lot of the information that's come out too is that it never really was conferred to Bill Belichick that Gerard Mayo would be his successor. Therefore, everybody's like, well, he had 5 years of this in his contract. Well, Bill's not helping him learn to be a head coach because he didn't know he was going to be the head coach when he took when he left, that he was going to take over. So it's kind of a secret.
Yeah.
Didn't they want his son to be his successor?
I don't think the Crafts wanted
well,
Belichick.
but didn't Bill want his son to be successor?
Well, Bill might have wanted it.
Yeah. I was going to say his son was busy taking coordinator jobs in college.
Yeah.
I knew I've already talked to Zach about this. So he doesn't really care for the hire that much. I told him that he took the Titans to the playoffs, so I think he's going to be decent. And now you have a good head coach. You have Drake May. You have a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They could start filling in more pieces, and they could be a decent team again.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a better owner in Robert Kraft than he had with the Titans too, so that's going to help a lot.
Mrs. Influencer going with the dad jokes too.
He may not be that.
Mrs. Influencer, that was fantastic.
Well done, Shannon.
Yes,
well done.
And yes, you are a trophy wife, Mrs. Influencer. I'll
finish up in
you.
the sauna and go home. Put the kids to bed.
Yeah, Mrs. Influencer, I'll say it for him. You are a trophy wife.
I would say, to Zach's point about going to 6-11, I think there'll be more than a 6-win team next year. I think he could probably get them at least around 500. I don't know if they're a playoff team yet or not, but I think he'll get them closer to 500 in
Do you
that
think
first year.
Ramondre Stevenson's still good enough?
I think he's too injury prone.
And then what about the receiving core? I think they need better receivers than
Much better.
Kenyon Booty and whoever else they have.
That's where they're going to have to start drafting some wide receivers in the draft, just because, I mean, who is Drake May going to throw it to?
Well, I can tell you one thing: Vrabel's not drafting Rutgers players because that's all Bill Belichick wanted was guys from Rutgers.
Yeah.
And then what about their defense? If on top of getting receivers and maybe a new running back.
Well, the crazy thing is, before this year they had a really good defense, And then I don't know what happened under Mayo this year, but that defense regressed big time. So I don't know.
There's a
what to
lot of
expect.
work to be done. There's definitely a lot of work to be done, but I think it's a good hire. I think it's going to be a very successful thing for them. I don't think he's going to be like a Belichick kind of run, but they will be more relevant for a longer time.
I'm going to go with Zach on this one. I think they'll be somewhere around that 6-7 win team. I'm gonna, I think that's good. Again, that's an improvement from 4-13, right? I mean, now we're talking if they're gonna be, losing those close games like the Panthers, right? Like the Panthers made some strides this year as far as like, getting to those games. Like, they almost beat Kansas City, right? So I mean, I think they'll get there. I don't know if they're at the 500 mark yet, but I think they'll go 6-11, 7-10, and I'll be good with that.
Well, the Panthers were within a whisper of 8 wins versus 4 wins because of that.
Oh yeah,
so they were a Kadarius Toney away.
Oh God,
jeez!
Don't get me started, please.
Bailey Zappi. Anyways, so we go from a confirmed hire with Mike Vrabel to, I mentioned circuses. Let's make our way to Dallas, where where the conventional wisdom, which we should all know by now, you should never use conventional wisdom when talking about the Dallas Cowboys, where we thought Mike McCarthy would stay as head coach. It has now been determined after they denied him permission to talk with the Bears, they have in fact parted ways with Mike McCarthy. I'm just curious. I just want to know what
the most petty thing.
What's a very Jerry Jones thing?
That's the most petty thing. You're not going to sign him. You're not going to pay the man, and then you deny him, going to Chicago to interview. Dude, that's super petty.
Yeah. So, like, what do you guys think? Is it ultimately for the best for the Cowboys that McCarthy doesn't come back, and if so, what do you think they're going to do?
I think it's best for McCarthy that he's not going back. I don't know about the Cowboys.
I agree with that.
Because who knows how they've missed the window on interviewing a lot of guys because of this.
But you know who's interested,
know,
right?
I don't know if they went into the denial knowing that they weren't going to hire him. I think they denied it thinking that McCarthy was going to just be like, yeah, I'm going to stay and be comfortable. I think McCarthy went into this asking for something he knew Jerry wouldn't give him, so that Jerry would basically have to get rid of him.
The crazy thing is that Mike McCarthy had leverage, which it's crazy to think after the season that they had that Mike McCarthy had leverage in this, but he did.
This is the third time that Jerry Jones has screwed up a signing in the last year. Third time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can go back to Dak Prescott. You literally signed this dude the hours before game 1 of the season, right? Like who legit coach is going to want to go play for the Cowboys now?
Dak Prescott must have gone to the Kirk Cousins school of getting contracts. I'm telling you.
So I mean, you know what? I'm so happy that this is happening to the Cowboys because Jerry Jones is like, this is my team. I'm going to manage this team. No one knows this team like I do. No, everybody knows the team more than you. You just don't want to admit it.
Right. So,
but Deion Sanders is interested though.
I was going to say, where do the Cowboys go from here? Do you think that the links to Prime are legit, or do you think it's more just like a very convenient link for them to have, since that was already happening while Mike McCarthy was still there?
Why?
With Sanders, I would understand the appeal for college to have somebody like Deion Sanders as a coach. I can't see that appeal translating as an NFL team.
He's going to stay in Colorado. He's going to stay in Colorado.
I don't see how this move would be beneficial, besides being completely financial.
Yeah.
But even I do like the theory going around that if he does take it, that they would trade Dak to Tennessee for the number 1 pick to bring in Shedeur Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
So just for the hilarity of that, I would kind of like that for happening. And Ed, just to let you know, since I know how much you love updates about this person, Micah Parsons is devastated that Mike McCarthy departure means a complete reset. Just I saw it on NBC Sports. I just thought I'd like pass that along to you.
Is Mike McCarthy going to appear on his podcast to discuss this move, or?
There's no talk about that yet.
Okay.
But I can't see Sanders joining. Like he's got something. I think he's got something in Colorado that he could definitely build upon. I don't see the point in going to the NFL. He can't bring his recruits with him.
He hasn't made in Colorado right now. He's the man there. Why would you leave that to go to the Cowboys where it is going to be a show? Yeah. And, just like how I edited myself there. That's pretty good.
Virgil, I think you may have been referencing this earlier, but I saw that proposed trade between the Cowboys and the Titans, where the Titans are taking on Dak's contract and giving up like the number 1 draft pick plus 2 other picks to take on Dak.
Yeah.
Like, in what world is that a good move for the Titans? I mean, I'm like,
right. But to be fair, if there is an owner that is going to do that move, it will be the Titans owner.
That's very true. That's very true. And you currently don't have a GM, so I mean, not that matters anyway in Tennessee, but it's now that Rand Carthen's not in place, you're not gonna. Brian Callahan's not gonna veto the owner, so you just never know.
But see, I don't understand the move for the Titans aspect, because why would you have Dak Prescott be the backup for Mason Rudolph? That makes no sense to me.
That's a very good question.
Oh God!
Exactly. I mean, all the Mason Rudolph fans are asking themselves the same thing.
I mean, exactly. They're
Who is mom?
No, the one here. That's the only one. That's all of them.
Yeah, that's it. By the way, speaking of, it just came out just recently. I don't know if you guys saw that the Jacksonville Jaguars and Robert Saleh are linked together. He's one of the favorites to take that spot.
Robert Saleh in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he more like?
Let's get instant feedback from a Jaguars fan, Donnie.
What are your thoughts, Donnie?
Oh, sorry, I didn't freeze up. I'm not a Jaguars fan. I didn't know what you're talking about.
What?
Uh-huh.
No, we need an instant reaction, but then I remembered it was you, so we're not going to get an instant reaction. So you got to think about it first. So
I mean, as a non-Jaguars fan, I will say this: I think it will be an okay hire. I don't think it'd be a great hire. I mean, he is a defensive guy.
Jaguars fan? I love it.
No. Jaguars used to have a lot of really good defenses. I mean, they had some really good defensive coaches over the years. Jack Del Rio, man. Oh, that was some defense there. But
Jack Del Rio is a great example.
I don't know if that's what they need to be successful. It's almost like a to some extent a lateral hire from what they had, just going from an offensive guy to a defensive guy that you really don't know how good he's going to be. I mean, he's good for Saleh, but I don't know about the Jaguars.
Is Jack Del Rio, this is going to be a stretch, but like Jack Del Rio to me is like the Norv Turner of defensive coordinators. He just needs to be a coordinator. Just like Norv Turner never needed to be a head coach. It should only be an offensive coordinator. That's what I always thought.
I'm with you there.
There's some guys that they're just meant to be coordinators.
And as nice of a guy as he was, Wade Phillips was another one for me.
Yeah.
Really an offensive mind, but
Romeo Cornell.
Oh, yep. Defensive side of the ball. Yeah.
Can we talk about him for just a second?
There you go.
This was I don't remember what year. Mrs. Influencer can probably remember. He was with the Chiefs. Chiefs were terrible. Packers were like 15-0 or 15-1 heading into that. I was at that game, and we lost to Romeo Cornell's Chiefs team that was absolute garbage. I think we were undefeated. I think it was the first loss of the season late in the season. Just a quick story about a game that I was at where he was the head coach, and the Packers lost when they were undefeated or had only lost like one on the year.
And the crazy thing is Romeo Cornell was an NFL head coach multiple times. The Chiefs and then the Texans, right?
Right here.
Was he with the Browns? That's right, he was. Wasn't he also maybe he was only acting head coach with the Texans. Was he only acting head coach? I can't remember, but I know he had
I don't remember.
I have him as he was an interim in 2020.
that. Is that what it was? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Producer.
No problem.
How about
I just-
another one? Charlie Weiss.
Oh my gosh.
Notre Dame,
Mhm.
Notre
KU.
Dame, I was just about to say KU. Mark Mangino, stand up. We like Mark
Dude.
Mangino though.
I like
Belichick tree.
Leipold, but man, Mangino had them win that Orange Bowl, 2008 with Todd Reesing.
Man, I loved Mangino. Oh, there we go. Yeah. This is a good one. That's a good one.
I don't hate Romeo Cornell. I don't. I really don't. I feel bad for the guy that he was put in a bad position with the Browns.
Well, no, Romeo played quarterback for the Browns, right?
Oh God. Why do you guys make me do this?
Hey, Ed, how old were you when Belichick and Saban were with the Browns?
So 95. I was in high school.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
So
Patrick,
I
I'm gonna
watched the documentary. I watched the documentary with Belichick and Parcells, where
Dude,
they went
think
back
about-
to that thing.
Think about all that talent that Cleveland had in
Yeah.
95. All that talent,
Yeah.
not just the players, but the coaching. And they
Right.
just left.
How could you waste a talent like Seneca Wallace? I mean, seriously, that's like a slam dunk. Like, I mean, like, how do you waste that kind of talent?
that is Iowa State legend Seneca Wallace.
Yes,
But Patrick, I'm going to have to make a correction. I'm sorry.
it happens every week, so it's just tradition. Let's just
Cornell
keep it
did
going.
not play quarterback while he was in college or even with Cleveland. He went to some college called Western Kentucky, which also is the college of Bailey Zappi.
There,
Oh, God.
there it is. Thank you. See, this is why we you bring up the facts that matter. So thank you.
As if you guys had planned this. As if you guys had planned
The thing is, we actually didn't.
We
That's
did
the
not
great-
play this, no.
That's the beautiful part of this.
So since the producer didn't look this up, I went ahead and looked it up. So it's 2011. Kansas City beat Green Bay 19-7, and it ended the Packers' 19-game winning streak, which was come after the year after they won the Super Bowl, undefeated going into that game. They had Kyle Orton as their quarterback, Romeo Cornell as the coach, and they beat the Packers 19-7. I was at that game.
Wow.
For the record, Eric, I was trying to find that game, but then I had to make the Bailey Zappi joke for the content, so I apologize.
Bailey Zappi
That
joke.
content.
Bailey
It was.
Zappi joke. I love it.
Listen, the show thanks you because it was well worth it.
No, does not.
Yes, it does.
What's
Yes.
in your bottle there, Ed?
Mhm.
Happy juice. Happy juice. Happy juice.
It's my drinking
I
bottle.
think it's some kind of like galactic mix because it's just not of this world.
No, Romeo Cornell was put in a bad position at Cleveland. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah,
Everybody's been
Bailey
put in a bad
Zappi was
position.
put in a bad position in that last game of the season. Bailey Zappi needs more respect. Put some respect on that name.
Bailey Zappi does not.
Yes, he sure does. That man got you a touchdown. Don't underestimate his contributions.
It's a wonderful world. Hey, I think it's that one more time to end the show so I can go to
And
sleep.
I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah.
Ed's got Snoop suction of juice. That's good. I like that one.
That's it.
So, to stay on the coaches thing real quick. So, what do you guys think about the traction Pete Carroll's getting for Chicago? Because that seems to be moving that way.
I don't wish it for him.
I don't see it as a fit, but I don't know.
Well,
Chicago.
I just think he's trying to fit
in Chicago, they
himself
don't ever
in
do. They rarely do what makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they did hire Matt Eberflus as their coach and kept him way longer than they ever should have.
I was just gonna say that they kept them longer than they should have.
Way longer. What
I
do you
think he
guys
was there
think?
a perfect amount of time.
Oh yeah, well, that's coming from
Well,
a Packers fan, yeah.
Yes, for our viewing pleasure, absolutely. But to me, and I don't know, you guys may disagree with this. I really think that the top two candidates, the two people that I think are the best candidates are in Detroit, in Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn.
But
go ahead.
the problem with that though is if they're going to be lengthy into the playoffs, into possibly the Super Bowl, are they going to? Because for whatever reason, teams don't seem to want to wait. They're just like, I got to get my coach, got to get my coach, and it's like these. Because that was the thing with the enemy. People thought he would get a head coaching job, but the Chiefs kept making it deep in the playoffs into the Super Bowl, and so he never really got that chance until he finally, it's like, I got to get out of here, and he went lateral to Washington, which I didn't understand. Wasn't good there, and then went over to, UCLA?
He's no longer there.
Yeah, so I don't know at this point, as you're saying, those two guys, are they going to – our team's going to wait at this point? Because they very well could lose this weekend, but at the same time, they very well could make to the Super Bowl. So that would be another 3 or 4 weeks before they are done with their season.
Yeah. Do you think that the fact that they got to interview them virtually has any impact on it, but whether they would want to wait or not? Because I know both Aaron and Ben have done several virtual interviews with various teams. Yeah. So they did. So, I know that Aaron Glenn turned down a chance to interview with the Patriots before they hired Vrabel, but Aaron Glenn, I think, has had a virtual interview with basically everybody except for the Cowboys because they just entered the race, and with the Patriots because he turned down that opportunity. And Ben Johnson has become a surprise target for the Raiders. So
Ben Johnson wants control though, because this is something that Key said last time. As the reason why he didn't do any interviews is just I want to make sure that it's the right fit where I have a lot of the controls, and I'm like,
yeah. So, I don't see the urgency for these teams to try and hire a coach right. I mean, it's not like it's college and you got to be recruiting. I mean, the draft's in April, so as long as you got somebody hired by mid-February or right after the Super Bowl, what does it matter? I don't understand the rush.
But don't you? That's why you have
the same guys you are. Like which I know that could be a motivation for getting them before they can, but like a lot of these teams would be interested in Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, but if they're being held up the same way you are, then you still have a chance to impress them.
Right.
So,
but don't you have a scouting team for that anyways? To your point, Patrick, like a lot of these teams already have a scouting team that is scouting you have tape on all these players. Mm-hmm. So you should have already a grade on a lot of these players and what you want to do going forward. Granted, you have a coach that's looking for, they have a different, philosophy, then at that point you have that conversation. Well, based on that philosophy, here are the players that we have graded, and then go from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or am I just simplifying this a little too much for,
I don't think you're simplifying it. I think that you have to have that infrastructure in place because you don't know how long it's going to take to bring in a coach because it's a big decision to make and you want to be intentional with how you do it. So I think you need to have, if you want to be successful, I think you need to have that in place.
I agree.
I mean, your job is to come in and spend as much time as you need to get ready for a draft, to get ready to put together a team. So again, if you're hired in February, you might as well be like, okay, for the next 6 weeks, your entire time, day and night, is spent getting ready for that. If you can't figure that out in 6 weeks, then what's another 6 weeks, or what's another 4 weeks, another 3 weeks? I mean,
and have you guys ever watched those, like, for your teams, like the behind the scenes draft videos where they're bringing in all the area scouts from different parts of the country, where they're telling them about they're in love with certain players, and they kind of bring them to the attention of the general manager or to the owner, and they're like, these are the guys that we want to interview. I mean, that stuff's going on all the time.
Yeah.
So when they get draft days and when they go to Indy to see pro days, or when they have the combine, or when they go to draft days for different universities, I mean, these area scouts are doing that all the time. They're on the road all the time doing these things to try to bring those options to the coach, because no matter who you have in place, they don't have time to do all that. They're depending on those people to give them recommendations.
Right.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So what do you think is still the most, with the Cowboys thrown in, does that change your opinion about what the most, and now taking New England out of it, does that change your most, like, attractive job that's open now? Because I know Eric, I think you and I both said that New England at one point, at least that was one of the options we had. But knowing like who's out there and everything, what do you think the most attractive opening is now with the Cowboys thrown in?
I mean, I think I said last time New Orleans.
You did say that. Definitely.
Yeah. I'm going to put the Cowboys at the very bottom of this.
Yeah.
Well, so does Troy Aikman. I mean, or Aikman himself said, when they were trying to present it to say it's a job that people want. Troy Aikman himself said, I don't know that it really is, because there's no plan in place. So is it really as attractive of a job as you'd like to think, or is it just the mystique of the Cowboys name that people are still living off of from 1995?
Well, I mean, the Cowboys,
I mean, that's
a brand. Yeah, the Cowboys as a brand is attractive, but as far as it being an attractive job to go coach there and have to deal with Jerry and all of his mess, it's not. I mean, it's one of those things where
he just did that and it looked like he just disappeared. I'm like, magician, I'm gone.
I mean, if you're one of these coaches, you don't want to go into that mess.
That I just couldn't take it.
Just like you probably don't want to go into the New York Jets mess.
No.
I'm with Eric. I think of the ones that are left, I'd say New Orleans is probably at the top. I really think the Vegas job is a good job. I mean, especially with Tom Brady being involved in ownership. I mean, Mark Davis is an idiot, but he's a rich idiot, and he's brought Tom Brady in, so maybe that's going to change things from that standpoint. And then the Jaguars has some attractiveness to it. Shad Khan is normally willing to spend money to improve the team. So it's not like you got an owner that's negligent there either.
Yeah.
Outside of those three teams, none of the other jobs are attractive to me. The Bears, I could care less. The Jets, excuse me, or Dallas. I'm with Ed. Dallas would be the last place I'd go. Hell, I'd take the Jets before I'd go to the Dallas Cowboys.
But that's the thing, though. It's like it's the sheer craziness of it. Like, I mean, there's so much going on that, like, it's just so many distractions that, like, you don't know what's going on, right?
Well, the brand of the Cowboys only means something to Jerry Jones. It doesn't mean anything to a coach. It might have been outside of Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett was a Cowboy lifer, and he probably handled Jerry as good as anybody could that was also having to basically do what Jerry wanted.
Right.
Here's not quite left field, but here's speaking of like a Jason Garrett, here's an idea for the Dallas job. Ellen Moore.
I mean, he knows what he's getting into if he were to go back there. Yeah. So he's been there, he's lived it. And I mean, heck, maybe
Jason Garrett 2.0 because
you know this. If you go there and you have that connection that you have, Jerry's going to be loyal to you longer than he should be. So it's not like you're going to go in there and be in a one and done or kind of anything like that.
Yeah.
So, but that's the only, again, that goes back to the only people that it's attractive to are people that have a connection in the Cowboys. Jason Witten, that name keeps popping up. I'm like, where's that coming from all of a sudden? Maybe he will be a good coach. But again, unless you bring somebody in that has a Cowboy family history, other coaches aren't wanting to go there because they could care less about the Cowboy brand.
Yeah. But it's kind of in vogue right now to bring in former players as coaches, right? I mean, maybe not at the school where they played, but it's been a very big thing recently. I mean, we've seen Michael Vick go into Norfolk State. We've seen, Ed Reed got a job a couple, like last season. Teddy Bridgewater in his high school, then coming back to the NFL.
Deshaun Jackson at Delaware State.
Yep. So but then again, then the question you have to ask is that the right thing? That's one thing in college. Is it the right thing to do in the NFL level? Someone with no head coaching
experience. Not going to listen.
I mean, Vrabel's going back to the Patriots, so
at least Vrabel, at least Vrabel has a track record of, somewhat of a track record of success.
True.
Yeah,
but he did. He wasn't a head coach first. He was a coordinator and all of that.
Right. He paid his dues.
He paid his due. Like, I mean, if you're going to bring Jason Witten, which is fine, you can do whatever you want, but show me that you've been coaching somewhere else. Show me that you have some coaching experience, and then you can be like, all right, let's bring him in.
I
And I'm
feel
not trying
Yeah,
to
you can be like
college football.
your team and brought in Jeff Saturday for a season. Like, where did that come from? You know, he wasn't ready for
It's
that.
called the crazy. Speaking of crazy, that came from the crazy mind of Jim Irsay.
Right. But to the point is, Jeff Saturday was a great player. He had no experience as a coach. Why do you bring him in as a coach? So you have to pay your dues first, and that's the problem with some of these knee-jerk reactions and hires like that.
it definitely works.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. It definitely works better on a college level, especially when you see with Michael Vick at Norfolk State. Vick's from that area. And of course, with Deshaun Jackson, Delaware State's been kind of at the bottom of the barrel for FCS teams. So even if he doesn't do as well as what people would be thinking, it's still going to draw eyes. It's still going to draw names. It's going to help that program. A program of that level, yes, it would definitely work. It did, but when you get into higher, we'll talk about FBS. One of the hires that I thought was going to work, because he was from the university. He was a well-known player. Scott Frost at Nebraska.
Yeah.
And that did not get the traction that I think a lot of that fan base was expecting. So sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Because he had a lot of success elsewhere.
Yeah.
Now Scott Frost is back at UCF. That's crazy.
Match made in heaven.
Match made in heaven. No, but I will say, Donnie, you were talking about Jeff Saturday with no head coaching experience. He actually did coach high school. He coached at Hebron in the Atlanta area. In fact, I probably live about 30 minutes from the school, but he did coach in high school, but that doesn't mean he's ready for the NFL, obviously. I knew what you're about the requisite. He didn't have the requisite experience that you would need to be an NFL head coach, but he did coach at a level. Just not the requisite level, I would say, to get the job that he got. That's called being in Jim Irsay's inner circle. Right. Unfortunately, as Colts fans, we see that too much, and usually it backfires.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
it's going to be a fun time when I see the Jets hire someone who's not capable of coaching, and when the Cowboys hire someone who is going to be a yes coach instead of a leader of men. It's going to be great.
Virgil, I don't know about you, but I mean, I don't think anyone in the Browns division has a chance with Bailey Zappi under center.
I mean, pretty much. I like how much Ed hates Bailey Zappi, but Bailey Zappi threw a touchdown. DTR didn't even do any of that. You do not show half the hate towards him.
I hate them both.
I mean,
I hope they both break their ankles and never play again.
Just blatant disrespect. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to take this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the blatant disrespect.
But before we get close to signing off here, I do need to throw some congratulations to two people on the panel here. Donnie, congratulations for Clemson getting a new defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah.
So
we went out and got a legit.
Did they get him from the transfer? Did they get him from the transfer portal too?
I think they traded him for portal picks. I'm not sure how that works.
Okay.
But more importantly, Patrick.
Oh no.
Roki Sasaki, you are one of the 3 teams left in the pick for that. How do you feel?
And we're going to finish third of those 3 teams in that race. Always the bridesmaid, not the bride.
When I saw the 3 teams, I almost dropped my phone thinking, oh gosh, I feel sorry for Patrick.
Now, did you hear about the flight? Oh wait, that's tomorrow's news, right? There's going to be a flight.
It's not yet.
But can I also get like a little shout out to the Blue Jays for signing Jeff Hoffman when the Braves and Orioles decided not to because of his physical?
Well, at least you can sign. At least you can't say anymore they didn't sign anybody.
Yeah, well, they just sign him with potential shoulder damage or shoulder damage that already exists. So, we are batting 1,000.
Let's not.
Blue Jays are like, we'll take him.
Yeah, well, the Blue Jays are having a garage sale. Buy none, get both free. So John Schneider and Ross Atkins. I'm sure I heard there's great real estate in Kansas City or in the Bronx or Cleveland. You always need progressive people there, right? And
Oh, here we go.
yeah.
Who's Virgil's team?
For what?
I mean, Madison could be a good place for them too.
MLB.
My MLB team is the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Yes. So in other words, in Madison, Alabama, I think we could send Ross and John there. I mean, John's done the minor league thing.
No, seriously, I don't truly have an MLB team because the closest to me are the Braves, and that just ain't happening.
Well,
But
that's the closest to you. Donnie's
That's
not
true,
close to New York.
but for me,
Patrick's nowhere near Toronto.
I mostly just follow the players I've seen or keep track of in the books just to see where they go.
So listen, when North Carolina gets the team, then you can go ahead and root for that team
Because that'll be your new hometown.
my new hometown.
There you go.
Let's not let Ed off the hook here. We're gonna say congratulations on your new offensive coordinator, Notre Dame superstar quarterback, Mr. Tommy Rees. Congratulations, Ed, to your new offensive coordinator.
Do you think he'll play quarterback for the Browns too, or what?
Yeah, he was a coordinator for the Irish for a while, then went to Alabama, then went up to Cleveland, and now is their new offensive coordinator. Congratulations, Ed.
Yay.
Go Irish.
Yay.
See, I was just going to do you a favor and let that one slide, but
I love the video I saw online today too of him when he was at Notre Dame screaming to somebody on the other end from the press box, "Do your effing job."
Yeah,
that's what he's going to be saying to Deshaun next year. Or no, not Deshaun.
Not
anybody
Deshaun.
else.
Bailey's
I was going
happy.
to say not Deshaun. Bailey's happy. Do your effing job.
Man, listen. I will come on and do a special episode if we get to a day where Bailey Zappi's named the week 1 starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. That will be a delightful day. Bailey Zappi QB1. Week 1.
You guys are wonderful. You guys are wonderful people. You guys are wonderful.
Yeah.
People.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we're triggering Ed here. He's in Cleveland and we're triggering him. We got to watch it.
Well, the thing is, he's looking for a hit. He's looking for a hit. He's just he's getting all twitchy, and he's looking for a hit, and it's you know what it is?
Got some candy?
Bailey Zappi, right here, baby. Bailey Zappi, inject it. So, inject it.
Oh God!
You think Ed regrets joining now?
I do.
A little bit.
I should be asleep.
A little bit, but but what I love is that he decided to make the trip all the way to Ohio to meet up with Bailey Zappi. He just couldn't stand the fact that he couldn't see him in person.
So you guys are lucky that my daughter's right there, because I would have said some other choice words in this show tonight.
So please on behalf of the show, please give Bailey Zappi our best when you have breakfast with him, and
it's gonna be one of these please leave Cleveland now.
No, well, I mean, I don't blame you. I'd want to have breakfast with QB1 too. I mean, that's perfectly understandable. Yeah.
I love this show.
Yeah, and you know what? You can die on the top of that hill because he is a hill topper. So.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Good job on that one. I'll give you that one. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
But no, I hate you all. Okay, because it's just sheer misery being a Browns fan. It's just that it's just misery.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, I root for the Colts.
Have you? The Colts have won a Super Bowl. They've hosted a Super Bowl. Okay.
We hosted it because we can't make it to it.
You have won it though. All right.
Yeah.
So there's that. My team has never won a Super Bowl. My team has never hosted a Super Bowl. My team has not even sniffed the being close to the Super Bowl in my lifetime of being a Browns fan. So, give me a break.
Jeff Garcia is so damn close.
I wish they'd break. You know what? They should trade for Baker Mayfield.
Well, that worked well the first time.
I'll take him this. Listen, I'll take him this time around.
You drafted him.
I'll take him back.
Yeah, you will.
Yes, I will.
Yeah. Make it. You'll make it all the way to week 18 because.
But I'm okay with that.
Guess what?
Everybody does. Mark my words. If they bring in, sweet Jesus, if they bring this dude from the New York, if they bring this dude, I quit.
Listen, I am here for that. I'm here for that press conference. They're bringing Aaron Rodgers.
Yep, I do, Lynn. I do.
Do we have
I'm
that on
also-
the list?
No, he is not on the list.
Every Browns fan hates John Elway. What are you guys are talking about? Every single Browns fan hates John Elway.
Well, but you hate a lot of people, so we just
Oh yeah,
Some slip through the cracks, and John
Yes.
Elway is clearly one of them.
yeah.
but you guys should know that should be a given that a Browns fan will always hate John Elway. So
So it doesn't explain the Billy Zappi disrespect.
yeah, it does. It most certainly does. What are we up to on this bracket? How many? Is it pretty close to being full?
There's still some slots I need to enter because I know there's some stuff in passing that you said, but I also need to consult my committee on that to see. But once we get that going, we'll have seating, and we're gonna have a presentation show for those.
I love this. I love Mrs. Influencer. I feel like I've heard I'm switching teams before. How that worked, Donnie?
Hey, hashtag content.
Yeah.
Like I said before, your content sucks.
But it's content. That's all.
But the problem is he picked a really bad team to go for.
They
Well,
weren't
you're going-
bad when I picked them.
You're going for the
Well, they
new
weren't that
sensation
bad.
in Nashville.
So you made them worse, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at where I land at every week. I mean, if you're betting with me, that's your fault.
No.
Totally on you.
So the Tennessee Titans, as of next season, will be officially called the Nashville Musical Donnies.
No, I am sticking with the Panthers.
I think that I learned this
Thick and
lesson.
thin. I
Yeah.
learned my lesson.
Yeah. I've got
Ed's not gonna. He's not gonna abandon the Browns. He keeps saying that, but he's not ever gonna give up on the Browns.
Yeah.
Well, we will always have next year, baby.
Because if he does, and they go to the Super Bowl, he can't get back on that bandwagon. No,
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen.
Hey Ed, I think the Browns just signed a bunch of lawyers to contract so they can go see if they can get out of that final 2 years guaranteed on Deshaun Watson's contract.
Oh, you know they're working on that.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
yeah.
yeah. You know
Haslam's got his team of lawyers working on that one.
if for God's sake, Deshaun Watson is the biggest moron in the world. How the hell are you going to put a video on TikTok for the whole world to see of him dancing with no boot right after you get surgery done while the team is still playing, by the way, and then then you say you got hurt while in Miami.
Yeah.
Look, of course the team is going to be like, we're about to void this contract.
Yeah.
Thank you, TikTok.
Yeah.
Right
Well,
before it goes away, by the way.
Well, I mean, I'm putting my tinfoil hat on for a second. I think that's the NFL's way of making sure Bailey Zappi is a starting quarterback in the NFL next season. So,
No.
Really-
That's
really
a
it
way. That's a way of the NFL saying, see, you should have never given him that guaranteed contract, and then no one will ever do that ever again.
Patrick, are you picking him over Winston?
What's that?
Are you picking Zappi over Winston?
Well, I mean, I want them both to be starting quarterbacks. So, Jameis will go maybe to San Francisco or something like that and be a starting quarterback, because he's a national treasure. So,
He's a really good backup quarterback somewhere, and someone will take him just for the sheer fact that he is a national treasure.
he is a national treasure, and he's going to be delivered Amazon Prime to a starting quarterback at one of the teams in this National Football League. Amazon Prime is going to give him same day delivery.
One day, same day delivery?
I said, yeah, one same day delivery. Yes, absolutely.
Got it.
Yep. It's a special service only reserved for Jameis Winston.
Yep.
Yeah. You can get crab legs. You can get crab legs that way, actually.
Speech included?
Yes.
So did you guys, I don't know if you saw this, if you're following anything with the hockey, but did you see that the Greensboro ECHL team announced their identity today?
No, I did not.
No.
The ownership group for the Charlotte Checkers also own the Savannah Ghost Pirates, and they have a new team coming in 2025 to 25-26 season to Greensboro. They announced today the Greensboro Gargoyles.
Ooh.
And it's looks like the Baltimore Ravens kind of color scheme, purple, gold, and black.
I'm out.
Very cool.
Ooh. You're bringing some Greensboro Bats colors, huh? With that. Purple?
Yeah, kind of similar to that. I saw it earlier. I've had it pulled up over here. Just thought I would throw a little hockey out there. It's a really cool looking logo, kind of Batman-esque looking.
Yeah.
I like that logo a lot.
Yeah. As long as you're not bringing tennis, we're all good. So as long as you're not bringing tennis,
definitely. I'm all in on the hockey, man. We got to get some more hockey talk going.
I'm in. But that
I'm
reminds
going
me
to see
of
the
this.
Checkers on Friday. Going to see the Checkers Saturday. They're actually doing a throwback night to the original team that started hockey in Charlotte. Oh shit, the name just went right out of my head. Hang on a second. I want to say the Admirals, but that's not right. It's the talk amongst yourselves.
That looks that Greensboro Gargoyles looks like the Gargoyles TV show logo.
Yeah.
So as I saw it, I'm like, well, that is the TV show right there. If there's ever one.
The Clippers. I'm sorry, it was the Charlotte Clippers is what they're throwing it back to. So they're going to be wearing with a it almost looks like the Lake Erie Captains. They got the boat wheel, steering wheel. So pretty cool. And this new ownership group is doing a lot of good things. They, like I said, they own now the Gargoyles. They own the Checkers. They own the Savannah Ghost Pirates. They also own the Gastonia baseball team as well.
They
And,
called them the Lake Erie Captains.
or Lake Erie Captains.
I heard that.
Lake
The
County.
Lake-
Yeah,
Lake County Captains, Lake Erie
Lake County
Monsters.
Captains. Yeah, that's what I meant. Lake County Captains. So
Hey,
Lake-
Donnie, what's the name of the beer you're going to pick up?
oh, the one that Ed had last week, the crayons. I smell crayon or
I smell colors.
I smell colors. I smell colors. Yeah,
Don't forget.
yeah.
I
That's
smell
nice.
colors.
Yeah, Eric. Based on that response, you might want to send a reminder.
Yeah, we're not.
No, I'm planning. I'm
Picture
planning
on
to
the
go
can.
to the brewery.
Yeah, send in the picture for the new for like the reminder device.
No, I'm
Just in case.
definitely reaching out to my friend group for the game on Saturday and hoping we stop by Divine Barrel on. Saturday.
So you do reach out to friends before you go to hockey games.
Whoa.
Got him.
The ones that already have tickets with me,
The
yes.
ones that are already my friends.
Yeah, the ones that matter. Yeah, I get it.
Got him.
All right, I walked into that one.
You did. I was
I've-
listen. I couldn't pass that one up. That was
You kicked the double doors. We're like, yep, here I
Kindergarten teacher thinks that's funny.
am.
that's first time. Listen, I'm like your wife. I have to. It really makes me happy when you actually laugh at something I say.
You're like my wife. Is that what you just said?
I did.
That's weird.
I said, that's okay.
Patrick's like my wife. All right.
That's right. I embraced.
Virgil, what do you have going on this week?
Yeah, I embraced the weird with you, Mr. Prophet.
I can't really follow that up.
I know, right?
No, there's nothing to keep follow up, guys. Let's wrap this up, boys.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So, Ed, what do you have this week on the Dad Hat Chronicles?
We finished our conversation with the El Paso Chihuahuas. That was a good one. Had a lot of fun. Some good things coming. By the way, cereal cart at a ball game.
Yeah, I messaged Adriana. I'm like, bro, that needs to happen.
Right?
Yeah. El
I'm
Paso
all
Southwest
in.
University Park is awesome. If you guys haven't been there, you should go.
So the Chihuahuas did reach out to me. It's like they said, it was like, we really love the episode. Thank you so much. And then it was like, just let us know when you're coming. So I'm like, I got to put them on the calendar for the summer to say, yeah, I'm going to El Paso because, man, if they're going to have cereal cart, money. So guys, check it out. It was really
Out
good.
of a bowl. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Battle Creek. Yeah. The Battle Creek needs to do that.
I'm surprised they haven't.
I know, but like with all the cereal and what is it? Is it General Mills that's up there?
Yep.
Yeah, but so that would be a perfect thing for them to do.
What are
Well,
they,
that
the
sounds
Battle
awesome.
Jacks?
The
Mhm.
Battle Jacks, yeah.
Do they sell Apple Jacks or should they?
They
Yes.
should. They should because when like they had cereal related identities that were in the contest. So that's the one that I picked, but which is why they didn't pick it. But anyways, so
I'd love to see the Fireflies do some cereal to go along with the grits night. I mean, you could have grits and cereal. Come on, they do breakfast night. They are doing a promotional game. One Sunday is going to be a pajama party game, so that would be the perfect thing. Have grits and cereal.
They can call it a Brenner and baseball night.
I'm just waiting for a team to do a spam night. That's all I'm waiting for. I just want one team to do spam night. What can we do that? I'm looking at you, St. Louis. I'm looking at you, St.
I'm ready for Malmo Oat Milkers night.
There you go.
Put that on the list. Put the oat milkers.
Oh, they're on it. They're on it. The moment Eric brought up oat milkers, I'm like, thank you. I was missing that.
There we go. Let's
put
May
them on the
29th
list.
here in Columbia.
There they are. So Mr. Influencer, what's going on EFA this week?
So tomorrow, Johnny and I, Earn Fun Average podcast. So Ed's wearing his banana ball outfit on tonight. We're not talking banana ball. We're doing the next big thing, the biggest craze that's going around the country. It's called cosmic baseball. So we talked with Matt Bowman and Jason Dean. Jason's the voice of the Tri-City Chili Peppers, and Matt does social media. So they come on our episode tomorrow and talk all things cosmic baseball with the Tri-City Chili Peppers.
Which one do I hate? I don't hate them. I just oat milkers is just a corporate branded, just like they just push it on everybody. That one I can definitely that's the only one I really don't like.
Yeah.
Of all of them.
Virgil, what do you have going on this week?
I'm still working on my scorebook project, and then of course I'm also working on this tournament. So I'm going to have a committee meeting later on this week, which will basically just be a text, and we're going to try to fill out the rest of the teams and get some seeding going.
It is a very important project, and it is worthy of having like a committee, because important things like this deserve that.
100%. I'm intrigued. Like, how is the winner going to be? Like, how is it going to be determined? Like, it's going to be by voting. Like a polling. How is this going to be?
So there are certain criteria I'm still considering. I'm honestly just thinking, naming these off to you and just see how you feel about it, because this is your tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued to see what other people would think and what I would choose.
Well, I was going to say, we can make predictions on what you would pick, but then you would just have to make the honest picks and just go through it and then determine who your national champion would be. Like, the only way to really play is to get your opinion, but we can all guess what you might say.
We would basically have to do like a selection show where you have the night off, that the four of us can go over who we think we think you would go with.
Oh, yeah. I like this. I like this.
Lynn's going to be on TV in Cedar Rapids on Thursday morning. Congratulations, Lynn.
Fantastic.
All right, Lynn.
Yeah.
Too bad I don't get TV in Cedar Rapids.
Yeah. Lynn deserves to be on TV, just like she deserves a hat on National Hat Day.
Hey, Donnie, you don't get TV in Cedar Rapids like you get a billboard in Wichita?
Exactly.
Ooh.
Got him.
Got him. Hey, if I can pull up the Cedar Rapids TV channel online, I'm gonna do it now. And I'm gonna see if they have a chat line so I could chat to Lynn or something like that. Now you got me. Now you got me.
Now he's gonna investigate it.
Donnie, what you called him out. Now he's going to.
Yeah.
All I know is if I was on a billboard in Cedar Rapids, Lynn would take a picture.
Have you been to Cedar Rapids?
No.
Exactly.
But she'd still take a picture.
No, she wouldn't.
Yes, she would.
You're disgracing her city, even though she's not from there.
Lynn, I know you would take a picture, wouldn't you? Even though I've never been there.
She wouldn't.
Everyday Iowa on KCRG Channel 9. Boom.
That's awesome, Lynn.
Good job, Lynn. Good job. Yeah. And you do deserve a hat.
You do deserve a hat. Donnie,
hopefully it's not 4 a.m. Now I'm not gonna see it if it's at 4 a.m. Lynn. That's too early.
Come on. Yes, you will. You're going to be on your way to one of your work sites at that time.
It'll be 5 a.m. your time.
John
John
Kosis has
point.
been on the local TV here a few times, and he's mentioned it to me that he's going to be on. And I'm like Good Morning Columbia or whatever. I'm like, yeah, what time? Like 5 a.m. Or like, who watches TV at 5 a.m.?
Ed on his way to the gym.
I don't watch it. I actually listen to it. So.
Yeah.
So, 9 a.m. Central. Okay, now we're talking.
Nice.
10
There
a.m.
you
my
go.
time.
That's like Donnie Senior Citizen wake up time.
Dude, I was just thinking the same
That's
thing.
in my wheelhouse right there.
That's right. Is that after you go and get your senior coffee
From McDonald's?
Oh yeah, I'm on the second cup by then.
Wait a second. Is this after you have your your morning meeting with all the senior guys before you before you go off with the rest of your day?
He's
Hey,
already
don't-
played a game or two of dominoes already by then.
Don't be knocking it, senior. I get a 10% discount at Ross every Tuesday.
Listen, that AARP subscription, that's nothing to laugh at, man.
55 and older.
Donnie hasn't heard of DVR.
I'll take it.
What is this thingamabob?
Yeah, Mrs. Influencer, he's still
DVR.
learning TiVo. He's still learning TiVo.
No, he's doing the turning still.
No,
I'll tape it. I'll tape it.
see, I was gonna say he doesn't do DVR, he does VCR.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
God.
thought she had them letters mixed up and in the wrong order.
So, Donnie, what do
good.
you have? So Donnie, other than senior coffee and everything, what do you have going on this week?
Really, the only thing I got going on is hanging out with you guys again on Thursday night. Headed back to Charleston in the morning, working down there again tomorrow. And then I've got the Checkers game on Saturday. So
Nice.
we'll see where we go from there.
Lots of hockey for you this week. Glad you invite some people to
This
go.
month, actually, this will be the second weekend of hockey. And then the following weekend, Rhonda and I are going to be just taking a camping weekend together in Savannah and catching a hockey game and a banana ball game.
Well, glad you don't go by yourself. So anyway,
I wanted to see what Ed's reaction was.
yeah.
Banana goal. Hey.
So this week on the Head History series, I'm going back to teams that were, and we're going back to the Expedition League, which we all know has a little bit of a controversial history, but to say the least. But we're going to be talking about the Pier Trappers of the former Expedition League. So I do want to point out to the existing team that there is the Oahe Zap that will come up in a future episode. But this week we're just talking about the former team known as the Pier Trappers out of Pier, South Dakota. So that's what we've got this week on the Hat History series.
I like it.
And Ed, I'd like to turn it over to you. In our private chat, we were kind of talking about, we've kind of passed an important moment, I think, for this sports show. And since this was kind of your brainchild, I'd like to kind of let you talk about that, since this was your creation to start with.
No, you guys were the ones who were also a big part of it. So, it's been January 9th. It's, marks the 1 year anniversary of the DHC sports show. So, that's, guys, we're still here. We're still kicking. And, obviously we just recently added the producer. So, look at that with a wonderful, wonderful looking hat that he has on right now. Come on now.
Yeah. I need that in a dad hat.
To be there. So again, it just speaks volumes to what you guys have also been put, into this as well. Obviously you guys could have just quit, and not done this. So I appreciate you guys, being part of this. It's been a lot of fun for sure. We had our times where we make fun of each other. So, like I said, it's I'm here in Ohio, and I definitely, I did not want to miss this. I brought this stuff with me just so I can, be here with you guys, because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I look forward to it every Tuesday and Thursday. I tune in hoping there's going to be one day that Eric likes me, but I know that's probably far away. Is it really going to happen? Probably not. But no, in all seriousness, I love getting to do this with you guys. And like you said, and shout out to the chat, because you guys make this happen for us as well. In terms of just showing up every week and showing up every Tuesday and Thursday, and always participating with sharing your thoughts and giving your input on what we're talking about. So I know I feel honored just to be on this with you guys, and 1 year down, hopefully many more to go.
Oh yeah,
It doesn't seem like it's been a year, man. It's flown by.
It
Like
has.
I was surprised when I saw that image pop up the other day, that it had been a year with that promo piece that you had done, that intro picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, a year. It doesn't seem like it's been a whole year so far.
No.
Also, I feel like like Pinky and the Brain, what we're gonna do, take over the world. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Well, and I love that, because a lot of times, there'll be efforts to try to get started, and then they kind of start, and then they kind of fizzle away and everything else. But we've been this community that we're kind of building here has been very consistent over the last year. And yes, maybe it's twice a week, maybe it's once a week, but it's been consistent no matter how you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's credit to all of you, and the people that come in and chat. And it's just a lot of fun because we're obviously very uber professional. That's the way we keep things, super professional, and that's just what we do. And
just like Eric right now watching TV while we're having a nice little celebration.
I don't know what I would do if he wasn't.
We get more professional by the episode.
Absolutely.
Okay.
When-
but the highest standards here.
When Donnie posted that picture from a year ago, I was thinking, damn, I look so much different than I remember. But also, I remember I was down I was a chat. I was in the chat the entire time. And so I know I've only been here for I think it's almost been a month now, but thank you guys for this opportunity to be a part of this show. I really have been enjoying this. This has been great to be a part of.
Yeah,
Glad you're a
I
part
love
of
it. I look forward to it every. I mean, heck, I left working in Charleston early because I was like, I got to get home. I got to be home by 9 o'clock. So I had somebody take over the last little bit of what I was working, so I could get on back.
Yeah,
Eric and I were both in hotel rooms.
Right. I hate Thursdays just because the gap to the following Tuesday for the next show is larger than Tuesday to Thursday. So I'm like, once we hit Thursday show, then I'm like, okay, we got a few extra days to wait and a lot of sports to talk about. And
exactly.
obviously I try to get on when I can when I'm at a baseball game, which is most every show, but
still, I mean, we all make it. We all make it work, somehow. So
I mean, and Ed, I think it's really classy of you to pay tribute to Donnie in this episode that you made that trip to Ohio, which Donnie did for like 6 months straight, for a while there. So it's very fitting that you're in Ohio, even though I know you actually lived there too. Donnie did too. I mean, Donnie was basically a resident of Ohio.
How many shows did I do from a hotel room not far from Akron? I was actually in Copley. So, I mean, I was literally probably 4 miles from where Ed probably is right now.
I lost count because I kind of thought you had just moved to Ohio at one point. And I was like, do you still have that residence of that swanky neighborhood in Lexington, South Carolina? Yes, I did say swanky because it is. Anyways, remember, validate your parking in Lexington, South Carolina at all times.
Well, anyways, but seriously, look, guys, thank you so much for this. I mean, this is, a year in, and, we got many more to go. Like, I mean, we're not going anywhere. We're enjoying this. Obviously, we all enjoyed talking sports, and, we're friends here, so I appreciate that. But, I think that's a good time for us to, like, the producer would tell us, let's wrap this up, guys.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys, so much. And, 1 year down, as we said, 1 year down, many more to go. So with that being said, I think we're out. So everybody have a good night.
Deuces.